Okay, I forgot to record where I show you guys around the shared from essay class folder, so I will re-record that later and send that to you. Right now we are going to the Why Essays. It is in the Needed If You Lose Your Hard Copy folder, and we are just going to start on page 1 and work our way through there, okay? Let me get to mine because mine is online. Does everybody have something to write with?
Yeah.
I have pens and pencils here if you need any.
That's a pencil.
Absolutely. I don't know if it's sharp or not. There's one mechanical pencil that you're going to have a better luck with in there. Yeah, I think that one. Okay, so why do we write essays? Why do you guys think we write essays? Because mom says so? Because the teacher at the school says so? Right, okay, for the most part, your whole entire life, that's the only reason you've ever had to write an essay, right? Okay, so, but the reason that they make you learn how to write essays is because in real life, sometimes you might have a reason to write, and we ordinarily wouldn't call it an essay, I guess, in real life. We might call it an article or an editorial or something like that, so we don't usually call it, but they're all essays anyway, okay? So we learn, right now you guys are learning so that you'll have an easier time on the ACT or an easier time in college, but the overall point is so that you can use it in your life. You see people writing on Facebook all the time, and they'll write a post that's like this long or this long or this long. And if they can learn to organize it properly, it can make sense and maybe persuade people or help them understand something, right? So eventually in your lifetime, you will have something that you want to write about. It'll be a hobby or your faith or something that you want to get across to other people. Okay, and so instead of looking at this class like, oh, I have to do this so that I can go to school because I have to do it there too, instead of looking at this class like this is just one more thing I have to learn how to do, try to think of it, okay, I'm going to learn how to organize my details, and support what I'm trying to say that is actually hopefully going to be useful to you. Okay. So let's see. Try to think about some things in real life that you might want to share with others. We're going to write a few things down later on, but if you think about your own life and think about your hobbies and your interests and things like that, you might start to kind of develop a feel for what you might be writing later on in life. Okay. All right. So let's say Facebook is a really good example of a lot of people posting things that aren't very well written. Okay. Before we had social media, you couldn't get in print unless some publisher wanted to print what you wrote. Okay. And if you didn't do a very good job writing it, somebody would edit that stuff for you so that by the time it did get into a book, it was readable. It was organized. The spelling errors were gone. You had good punctuation. But now we have social media and we have a whole lot of other ways for people to leave their own things online, like a blog, okay? If you get onto blogs or Facebook, you'll see a lot of some issues that we're going to be talking about and then like trying to clear out of you guys' writing, okay? So a lot of times you'll see they aren't using enough commas, or they're not using periods, or they're not capitalizing, or they're only capitalizing, right? Okay, are you guys both on Facebook, or have you seen what I'm talking about? Have you?
I'm not on Facebook.
You're not, but have you noticed how people write? Have you seen other people show you, or your mom shows you, or something? Your mom's not on Facebook either, is she? Okay, well, you may not have a very good example of this, but it's kind of crazy. It's like texting. You text someone that doesn't use any punctuation at all. Okay, so, and if they wanted to try to get a point across to you, or if they wanted to actually persuade you of something, sometimes they don't do a very good job because they don't organize it in a way where this point supports that one and this point supports that one and so forth. They're just kind of blurting things out. Okay, so an essay does a really good job of organizing your thoughts. Okay, and then of course we're going to make sure the spelling and the punctuation and all of that stuff is clear as well. I did want to say that just because somebody is a poor writer, because we see lots of poor writers on Facebook or a blog, okay, or texting. Just because somebody isn't a very good writer doesn't mean they don't have anything valuable to say, okay? And so I'm trying to help people who do have something valuable to say that may not feel confident about their writing skills to be able to clear up a few things so that they can say what they want to say when they need to, okay? All right. So I did write at the bottom of that first page, remember we aren't writing just to impress teachers, we're writing to connect with others and convey information. Okay, go over to the next page, turn the page. So we talked a little bit about disorganization. So this is definitely going to teach you how to organize your thoughts. I'm not going to read this whole thing out loud. I think that would be kind of ridiculous. And you have a copy. You can read it at home. It's good to introduce your topic. A lot of times, if you don't say something interesting in the first couple of sentences, you've lost people and they'll just keep moving on, okay? Say something to grab their attention. Tell them what you're getting ready to tell them so that they don't waste their time reading the essay if it's not for them, okay? Then say what you're going to say and then summarize at the end, oh yeah, I talked about this, this, and that. And they all point to my point, okay, the thing I was trying to say. So you'll see a lot of times that they don't follow an organized path, okay? And you'll also see where people are trying to prove something, but they're not really giving you evidence. Either they're not citing their sources, which we're not going to get into that in this class, thank God, right? So we don't have to worry about that in this class. If you are doing like a research type essay and you want to cite your sources, go for it. But I'm not counting any points for it, okay? That'll just be for your own practice. Okay, but a lot of times people are trying to prove things, but the proof that they're offering doesn't really support what they're trying to say. Okay, so we're going to look out for things like that. And then before you share your essays with me, you are going to check for spelling, grammar, punctuation, all of those things, and I have a rubric for you to make sure everything is as good as you can possibly make it. Okay? All right, so turn the page again. It should say your interests. And I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to, actually there's the next several pages. Oh, I made a mistake in the formatting. The next several pages are things that I want you guys to just fill these out. Okay? So take a few minutes to do that. I'm going to pause my recording. Okay, so hopefully that gives you guys some ideas of, I don't know, and you can always go back through what you've written down today for topic ideas later on in this class, okay? Because you guys will be picking your own topic ideas every week. I'm not going to pick those for you. So that'll give you ideas of things that you're already interested in. Okay, so now we're going to talk about audience and platform. So the platform is just where you publish your ideas. So like on a blog or Facebook or in a magazine or in a newspaper or a book, okay? That's your platform. Your audience, those are the people who are going to be reading what you've written. So for now, your audience is just me. Okay, your teacher. When you get into college, your teacher is your audience, maybe sometimes your peers. But then as you decide to put things out there, either on social media or on a blog or maybe in a newspaper, you can write editorial pieces for a newspaper. You have to think about, who do I want to read this, number one. Who do I want this to appeal to, where they're going to read it in the first place. And you need to put in a little bit of thought about how you're going to speak to them. Okay, so if you're all stuffy and formal, you'll never get the teenagers to read what you write. But if you're just like typing in text speech, instead of saying thanks, you're typing in THX and BRB and all this kind of stuff that you would use for text messages, then you're not going to get the older generation to read what you write. And if you use contractions, it's going to look like you're laid back, we're friends, I'm giving you guys some friendly advice, but it won't look like you have any authority maybe if you're maybe using contractions in something that's about science, okay? So you have to decide who's going to be reading what you write and how they want you to talk to them, okay? That is going to be, I want you guys to think about that for every essay that you write. Who would be reading this? How do they want me to talk to them, okay? We're going to do, I think we're going to do an activity next week to kind of practice some of that, but we don't need to worry about that this week. Another thing you need to keep in mind is what gives you the right to write about this. Is it just your opinion? Because if it's your opinion, you always have the right to express your opinion. But are you trying to teach somebody how to be healthier? Are you trying to teach somebody how to do things a better way than what they already do it? Think about, is it your life experience that gives you the authority? Have you studied about it in depth? So let people know why they should listen to you, okay? Now you don't always have to do that within the essay itself, but it should kind of come across through the essay so that they're not worried about, does this person really know what they're talking about or not? Okay, let's see here. And if you're an authority figure, go ahead and write like an authority figure. If you're a pastor or something like that, you can convey that. I was sitting in McDonald's the other day, and I overheard someone talking, and I looked at my husband, and I said, "That's a pastor. I can tell by the way he's talking." Well, my husband texted me a name, and it was actually somebody that I knew. He was a pastor, though. You can tell sometimes just by the way they talk. They're talking with authority. He was talking about the Bible, and it was like he has authority in that area. He knows what he's talking about. So come across that way whenever you write as well. If you are an authority on anything, you might not be yet. Someday you'll probably be an authority at a few things. Okay. So what I want to look at now is the essay type. So that is on, I don't know, I think we're right past where you guys were writing about things, and then I talked about audience a little bit. It says essay type. This is going to be, are you going to be describing something? Okay. Are you going to be presenting statistics? Will you be persuading the readers of your opinion, trying to get them to believe things from your way or see things from your perspective? Are you going to be explaining how to do something? Maybe there are some opposing viewpoints going around and you want to lay those to rest. Are you going to be telling a historical event or an event that you witnessed yourself? Are you going to be telling a story? Or you can take two things and compare them and contrast them. Let's say whether we want an Apple or an HP, okay? Do your research. So some of these things you can do research for. Now you're picking your own essay topics, so you won't ever have to do any research if you're just constantly writing things out of your own head. But let's say that you want to do something like a compare-contrast. You will do a little bit of research there. Unless it's things you're intimately familiar with, and then you won't have to research them. So like if you have a Dell and you have Apple and you use both of them extensively, you wouldn't have to do any research, right? You could just write the article. Or you might show cause and effect. If things keep going this way, this is going to happen. Or every time my sister doesn't clean her room, this is what happens, okay? So some of those will require research and some of them won't. It's just up to you guys how in-depth you want to go with your essays. I know you probably don't want to be spending a lot of time every week in the summertime working on homework, so if it's all out of your head, that's fine too. Okay, so now that you know, let me see. Do all of those essay types make sense, guys? I think you can figure out which one of those things you want to do depending on what you're writing about, okay? All right, so once you figure out what you're writing about, and then once you figure out how you're going to present it, is it compare contrast, is it my opinion, then you're going to write down a thesis statement. Now we know about thesis statements from the other class, but it's just basically, it can be a question, what am I going to answer throughout the course of this essay? Now these essays don't have to be long. They can be half a page long, okay? They're once a week, okay? So you're going to be cranking out something once a week, half a page to a page long each. If they get longer than that, that's okay. I only have 2 students. I have 3 because I have an online student. So I don't have a whole lot. It's not going to tie me up. Okay, so if they get a little bit longer than that, that's not a big deal this time. All right. I know that was funny last time. Okay. That was funny. Yeah, she had to cut things out of her paper. It was like, okay, whatever. All right, so you're going to write down a thesis statement for the thing that you're thinking about, and then write down another possible thesis statement in case you decide to go that way. Now, we aren't doing this yet. Maybe we should. Let's see. Why don't you guys go ahead and look back through some of the things you wrote down a minute ago and pick out the thing that you think would be the easiest thing right now to write about. or whatever it is that you really want to write about right now in class. Because we're going to go through these things and do the thesis statement, and so decide what you want to write about, and then look at the essay types and decide what essay type you're going to choose for that. And I'm going to pause this again while you guys are thinking. Okay, once you guys figure out your topic, then write the essay type in the blank. There's a spot where it says essay type and a blank for that. And then turn the page and go ahead and see if you can come up with a possible thesis. What question are you going to be answering? Okay, people need to know that up front so they know whether your paper relates to them or not, whether they need to be reading it or not. And then think of a different thesis statement. You might decide to go a different direction with that. Then don't worry about the brainstorm because we're going to do that in class. I left some blank paper down under where it says brainstorm so that later on if you guys want to do a mind map or something like that, you have space to do that. Okay, we're going to brainstorm a little bit. I'm going to give you guys some sticky notes. This is just one way of brainstorming. And what you do is you write down a separate idea on each sticky note that you know. Just like write down everything you know about your topic. There's a bunch of them. And then pass them down. So write down every fact that you can think of about your topic. And then you can also write down questions like something that you don't know yet that you need to look up later. Just put one thing on each piece of paper. I have a bunch more. I'm just going to put them in the middle over there. And write one thing on each sticky note, and then when you get done, you can just rearrange them in the order that you want to write your paper in. Okay? All right, go for it. So let's say you get 30 different ideas on 30 sticky sheets. You can make categories if you want. You can have a major category and then put your other sticky notes under that one. They're the supporting details for that. Just arrange them in any way that makes sense to you guys. All right, now look at the next page that says research. Now, you don't have to research your topic if you're so familiar with it that it's not unnecessary. But if you found yourself writing things on your sticky notes that say, what about this? Let's see, because I wanted you to write down everything you did know and then also write down a few things that you didn't know. So if you wind up with questions, you could get online really quick and Google the answer to those questions. That will make your essay just a little bit more informed. I wrote down a few things. So if you're writing a persuasive piece or an argument piece, you might want to see what people are already thinking about what you're writing about. Okay, so if you're trying to oppose somebody else's viewpoint, what is that viewpoint that they hold? So you can get online and do a little bit of research for that. If you're writing something and narrating an event or telling someone how to do something, like how to put strings on a guitar or something like that, you can look up a couple of those things too if you want to. Especially if it's a historical event and you weren't there, then you might want to look up a couple of details. If you're comparing two things, what if we were going to compare the HP and the Apple? And what if you knew almost everything about both of them, but you're like, oh, I wonder about this one little thing. Is it true that the Apples almost never crash? Okay, and that the HPs do. So you might Google that and find out if it's true. Just little things. I just kind of wrote on there certain little things you might want to research depending on what kind of paper that you're writing. Okay? But I don't want you guys to spend a lot of time researching because I don't want you guys to have 3 hours of homework every week. I want you to brainstorm your paper, write your paper, and I would like for all of that to take no more than an hour is kind of what I'm thinking. So, take more or less time as you want to, but I don't want to use up all of your time this summer. Again, we're not doing citations, but you can include them if you want. Now turn over to the next page. These are the last few things you're going to organize. You might still need to organize a few things after you get done with your research. And then you're going to read your papers, get familiar with them if you had to do any research, and then put it away and write it. Okay, put all of your notes away and just write the thing. Get it done, get it out of your brain. You can always go back in and later and clarify a detail or look something up to add to that. Then you're going to go through, of course, and do the spelling and grammar and punctuation. And then you're going to share it with me via Google Drive. Okay? So that is that piece of paper. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Turn over to the last page. This is your essay organizer. We use this. That's it right there. Sorry. I say last page. I'm in a file, and so it's the last page of my file, and then the homework page is a different file. So that's why I keep calling this the last page. But we use this in the research class, only it was a much longer version. This is a shorter version. It's kind of short and sweet. And kind of you can use this as your guide how to arrange things. Also, you can look through it to see whether you missed anything. Did you forget to support your main point? Say you have 3 main points, but you forgot the supporting details for a couple of them. Okay, so this is what you're going to look at for that. Now look at your homework. I want to make sure you guys understand that very well. Let me see here. That is, so Sam, that is the last, wait, hang on a second. So I'm in where it says needed if you lose your hard copy, and it says homework orientation part 1. It's that file that we're looking at right now. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to use the responses that you wrote in class today and kind of start to develop a few of those ideas. Okay, I'm going to have you pick 2 of those ideas for homework this week and develop them. You're going to brainstorm a little bit more. You can use the back of this page. It says to use the back of the page, but you don't have to. You can use sticky notes, and I'm going to show you guys how to do a mind map in a second on Google. And then write your potential thesis statement, and then organize the points. And that's as far as I want you to go. You can do some research. You can write it if you want to, but it won't be due for a while. So that's up to you if you want to get a leg up. If you're really going and your brain's really going, then you go ahead and write it if you want. All right. That is all you have to do writing-wise, okay? And this counts for 2 points. So I know 2 points doesn't seem like a lot, but every time I say something counts for a point, I only have 100 points designated to this entire class, okay? So 2 points, if you don't do it, you automatically can't score more than a 98% in the class, okay? So everything is 1 for 1, point for point. All right, so the homework is worth 2 points, and then you guys are going to watch the first 5 videos and take the first online quizzes. I want you guys to know that the videos are not required. I cannot even tell whether you watch the videos or not. If you can get online and take the quiz and you know what I'm talking about without having to watch the video, I try to explain everything within the quiz itself. My son only watched one of the videos, and that's because he was having trouble with one of the quizzes, okay? But for the most part, you might be able to just get in there, skip the videos, and take the quizzes. The videos are really just for you if you're having trouble. Okay, so let's say that you aren't understanding a quiz. Then watch the video first. Read the feedback from the answers that you got wrong. Go ahead and take the quiz, even if you don't understand it. Read the feedback and see what's coming back to you. And, oh, okay, that's what she's talking about. Take it again, and if you're still not scoring a perfect score on it, then get back with me, okay? Email me and say, I'm not understanding section 2 on quiz 18 or something, okay? Because I want you all to score 100% on all of them to make sure you have your head wrapped around them. They're not very long. They're longer than the one we took earlier, but none of them are very long. Okay, any questions about the homework? 5 quizzes, videos if you want, and then these things. Okay, that's this week's homework. Next week's homework, I will pass out week 2's homework, but it will also have all of the homework for the rest of the class on it. So you won't have to worry about, am I going to forget? What are we doing for week 4? Because it's week 3 through, 9 is all the same. It's just writing an essay, okay? And watching 2 more videos and doing 2 more quizzes. But like I said, all the videos are optional. Okay, are we clear then on the homework? Okay. So what I want to do is show you guys a couple of more ways that you can brainstorm. The brainstorming is my favorite part. I don't know why, but I just like it. Go to where it says shared from the essay class. Go to that folder. And there's a file at the very bottom that says mindmap.json. Not connected. Okay, it should be the bottom file. It says mind map. Okay, now I don't know if yours is going to do the same thing that mine did. Yeah. Oh, go up there where it says open with. Mind map. Choose mind map from the list. I don't know. We might have to sign you guys into mind map first. Did yours come up with something?
Oh, it's turned off. So
okay. You are picking the last file in the folder that I shared with you. It says mind map. And then you can authorize that. Yep. It'll ask you to authorize being able to use the app. All it does is add files to your Google Drive, whatever it is that you create in here. All right. Does it say central idea in the middle there? Mm-hmm. Okay. You can X out of that part that says welcome to Mind Maps if you want to, because I'm going to explain how to do this. If you're taking this class from home, you can leave that up. It's a tutorial. How's yours coming along, Rebecca? Okay, yeah, just authorize that. And you'll have to sign in with your mom's account. And then tell me whenever the it'll say central idea in the middle of the page after you've signed in. Did yours disappear? Oh, you just moved the grid. Interesting. That's really weird. I never did play with that. Click here, where it says click here. Okay. Oh no, where is it? Where is it? That's really weird. Oh, I see you scrolled away from it. Okay, get smaller. Go back out a little bit. Zoom back out a little bit. And click, there should be, down at the bottom there. Why is it doing that? Okay, there you go. All right, how's yours? Is it working out okay?
I see the central idea. What do I do?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on it. Oops, double click. I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to write essay class. Did it show up on you guys'? I don't know if it, I was hoping it would update in real time. Okay, well, I'm going to show you guys how to use this anyway. We don't have to actually collaborate on it. Go ahead and refresh it and see what happens. No, it didn't update. Okay, but I'm just going to show you guys how to use your own. This is really so you can collaborate with people, but I don't have all the kinks worked out of it. So just double click where it says central idea and type in what you're going to write your essay about, the one you've been brainstorming. This is just, hopefully we can share. Now, see, the funny thing is, this is the one that is all shared. So I'm not sure what it's going to do at the end of the day. Actually, go up to where it says document at the top of your page and hit new. That way you'll have one that's just yours. There are unsaved changes which would be lost. Go ahead and proceed. Okay, now click on that central idea. This one is not being shared with anybody else. once you do that, grab hold of the red circle and drag it wherever you want it. Okay? And type in a new idea that stems from your original idea. Maybe a supporting detail or just some other thing that you're thinking about. It doesn't have to be organized. You can just have random ideas all over the place. Then if you click on that one and drag a node off of that, then you can have an idea that comes from the last thing that you were thinking. Okay, so depending on where you start, if you start on essay class and draw the red circle somewhere, then it's an idea that stems from essay class. I'm sorry, I said that because that's what I wrote in mine. Whatever it is that you wrote for your main idea, if you drag an idea off of that, they'll just sprout in all the different directions, and then you can drag new ideas off of those old ideas. So it's kind of like a spider web. It can keep webbing out as far as you want to take it. Now what you'll have to do is save it. And it won't let you just save it. You have to go over to where it says Document and Save As. And then tell it to save to Google Drive. And it'll just name it whatever it was that you typed in your main idea. Is that working? Okay. Now X out of there. Go to your Google Drive account. Go to My Drive. Instead of the shared with me, go to My Drive. And your mind map should be in there now. It's also blue, so it's hard to find. Go way down. What did you name it? Okay, it should be in there. Is it there? Huh. I'm having trouble with this. Go ahead and refresh it. See what happens. I didn't see mine at first either. Are you finding yours? Yours is in there? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and pause this because I don't think we need this going while I look at. Okay, so next week, if we have time, I'm going to show you guys a couple more brainstorming things. It's my favorite part. I don't know why it's so much fun for me. I wish we had like a whole big class full of people so that we could get like 10 people sitting around the table brainstorming things. I think that'd be really, really fun. And we could pick like the same topic so that we're not just all over the place with our topic. Let me make sure that I have gotten everything done. So that graphic organizer, you can use it if you want to for every single essay, or you don't have to. Just make sure that it's in a good format. I think that's it. Is there any questions? We didn't get to this. This is another brainstorming activity, but we'll do this next week. So are there any questions before class is over? You guys know what you're going to do? Okay, remember you only need the two folders that say needed. Okay, don't worry about anything else. And actually one of those folders is optional as long as you keep all the handouts that I give you. Okay? Okay, if you have questions, just email me with those later. Okay?